complaining about little things, and I'm like, you go handle that. I'm not going to worry about it. You
how is leadership now, like what you're experiencing now versus when you were a leader? I mean, if it's better or worse, I'm just kind of curious, like if it's changed at all.
It definitely has changed. Gosh, I mean, I think the tenure when I was a leader, most advisors were in their career maybe sub 7 years, right? So they were still trying to figure out the practice management, how to grow your practice, and all of that. Now I think it is massaging of the egos a little bit, making sure that it's different. I mean, it's changed dramatically from being more of a player coach to just being a coach.
Sure.
From a top-down perspective, because we've got 25 advisors, I think, in this office now. And so yeah, it definitely has changed a little bit.
Tell me about your practice acquisition. How did you get started with that? I mean, how did you find a practice that you're looking to buy, and how is that process going?
Yeah, so it's kind of a sore subject within our office. So the practice acquisition was actually sourced from another advisor. The advisor got a name from a wholesaler. They called, the manager and the advisor called the advisor. She picked up the phone. She said, okay, I'm interested. She was already in the process of like courting a couple of other people and selling to the P2 channel. I mean, it was a P2 practice.
Right.
So then she came in, she interviewed about 10 people. I ended up being like number 9 or number 10. Did the interview, didn't think it went well. Next thing I know, I'm getting a second interview. She was gonna split the practice up between 3 people. Yeah, and because the size of it, I mean, it was 120 households, about $90 million.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, in all SPS, if you know the product set. I mean, so it was a fee-based practice, and so I understood why she'd want to break it up, only because it makes it more sticky, right? I mean, less people, right? And so then back in like October, maybe September, she decided that she was only going to sell it to me.
That's a lot. I mean, it's a great thing, but that's a lot of people to take on.
Yeah, I mean, it was basically, there are 90 new relationships. They're all massively interconnected. It was very top heavy. We've got a lot of systems in place. We've used the technology to really leverage a lot of what we do. We don't do a whole lot of paperwork. And what I mean by that is that I can't stand when I see somebody from our team at the copy machine.
Yeah.
It's a big bone of contention for me. And so we do everything e-signature, advisor mobile, and that cuts down on a lot of paperwork processing. And we had to. And so we were able to take it on. We really haven't missed a beat. Don't get me wrong, there are days when it's a lot more intense than it's not. But yeah, I mean, so now we're probably at 350 households. I've got about 225 million. I think my partner's got about 30 million. And then we actually brought another advisor in to be more of our research analyst. And he's got 35 years of experience. I want nothing from his practice. I like him. I trust him, and I appreciate his research that he does because he's got time and I don't. So we've kind of made him a mercenary and pay him on the side, to do a lot of that work for me that I just don't have time for anymore.
That's a really interesting thing about your team then too, is that you brought in someone with just that kind of specialty. How did you guys come up with that idea, and have you got any support like from your leadership or home office to figure that out?
Yeah, it came down to, I found out that my wife was pregnant with our 3rd kid. We just had our 2nd child's 1st birthday, and I was like, I can't not sleep anymore. I mean, I'm probably getting 5 to 6 hours. I enjoy the research part. I'm a closet analytic. It takes a lot for me to be an expressive personality.
Really?
And so it does.
I would not have that impression at all.
I know. And so yeah, it's tough. And so I finally had to say, what am I good at? Not what do I like doing, what am I good at, and where's my time most leveraged? And my time is most leveraged in for the practice, for the betterment of the practice in front of clients. So, sought this guy out. Him and I had offices next to each other. We talk. I mean, we've known each other for almost 10 years now, and so finally I said, you know what, like, how would you like to take on this kind of role? And kind of just spitballing it. And then the next thing I know, it made sense, and we brought it in. I talked about it with my partner and talked about it with our practice manager. Said, hey, look, like, what are your problems? Do we have any problems with this, or what are your thoughts? Like, give me feedback. Because I don't, as much as I'd like to say that I make all this, I mean, I lead the team. I mean, to me, it's really getting the buy-in of the team, and then also, being able to handle any of the objections before making a big decision like that. It's even like the practice acquisition. I would not have done the practice acquisition if my team had said, no, they're not in. That was the deal. The deal was, we don't need this, but if you want this challenge, it's up to you. And I need to know that you guys are all in if we're going to do this together.
Yeah, and that's the definition of a great team, when you guys can all make that decision together and understand the value of why you're trying to do this too.
Yeah. So,
I know we just have like another minute. If you were trying to sum things up, like if you were talking to an advisor who was thinking about joining Ameriprise, what would you tell them? A couple things, like the number one reasons why they should move over to us.
Yeah, I would tell them that we may not be on the cutting edge of everything, but we're moving in the right direction. And we are kind of best in class when it comes to some of the technology that we're starting to roll out, right? Don't get me wrong. Contact Manager is great. I can't stand it. I can't wait for Salesforce to get done. But, being able to say all of the tools that we have, ultimately is going to be able to make you feel and be more effective and efficient. That's probably the biggest thing. That's normally when I'm talking to buddies of mine, or even wholesalers, when they're like, hey, how come, that's the number one question I get is, well, how come you haven't moved? Like, why haven't you moved? And I said, well, we may not have everything perfect right now, but we're constantly investing back into the business. And that's one thing that I know about the company, is that it may take a little bit of time, but they're going to do it thoughtfully versus just, okay, here's what we're going to do, so.
Yeah, and I think that's true too, because sometimes people can be first to market, but I think you're right. I mean, it is tough even from my day-to-day job of how thoughtful we are or how long it takes to get something done. But we always do it. There's a reason behind it, and I think that's when you kind of get it at some point. It's like, oh, that's why it takes so long to roll something out, because it's going to be rolled out well.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like Lotus Notes. I mean, I don't know if you were with the firm when we had Lotus
Lord,
Notes.
yes.
Right? I mean, and I remember telling people, and they were like, I didn't even know what Lotus Notes was. I mean, I was, and people were like, oh my God. And I go, we're going to move to Outlook at some point, 4 years later.
Yeah, when I joined in 2007, I mean, I had rolled out Outlook. I was an IT guy back in the day at General Mills, and I rolled out Outlook in 1998. So to come here in 2007 and use Lotus Notes, I just thought, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's too funny. Funny. Yeah, no. So I would say, technology is best in class, and they're constantly improving it. Being able to use the iPad to do meetings or sign documents so that we're not having to print, and it just saves you so much time.
And I really like too that you guys are almost completely paperless too. I mean, that's got to be amazing. And then anybody can access things at the drop of a hat without having to walk to a file cabinet.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, I really appreciate your time. This has been really fun. And what I'm going to do is kind of look at what we talked about, and as if I work on quotes or thoughts for social media, presentations, sell sheets, I'll always check back with you first just to make sure I captured what we talked about accurately.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Awesome. Thanks again for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and then I'll look forward to seeing the quotes and stuff.
Yeah, I'll be in touch soon, and I'm going to go out and enjoy some sunshine.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Yep, bye-bye.